Dear friends, welcome to B.R. Ambedkar Open University. This video lecture is for UG first year students who are in second semester. The course title is Dynamics of Public Administration and the block named Public Governance. For this today we are discussing about discussion on e-government. You know, the e-government, it is also called digital and online government. You know, e-government uses internet technology to exchange information, deliver services and conduct transaction with citizens, business and other agencies. You know, e-government transform governance to make services efficient, convenient and transparent through information and communication technology. E-government represents a shift in how government share information and provide services. E-government aims to reduce cost, promote economic development and improve public administration. It also enhances transparency and support the growth of an information society. E-government also facilitates information exchange among citizens, businesses and government departments. E-government enables faster and more efficient public service delivery. E-government improves internal government efficiency and operation. It helps reduce expenses and increase revenue. E-government also encourages restructuring of administrative processes. It applies to all branches, legislature, judiciary and executive as well. E-governance strengthens responsiveness, accountability and legitimacy of government. It expands interaction between government and stakeholder through widespread internet use. So, we have discussed about the meaning of e-governance. Now, there is need to study the various dimension of e-government, because if you do not understand the dimension of e-government, you cannot say what is the real meaning of e-government. So, e-government dimensions are based on interaction among stakeholders like citizens, business, government agencies and employees. These interactions define how services and information flow digitally. Government to citizen, first dimension, government to citizen, it is known as G2C. It provides public services to citizen anytime, anywhere. It ensures 24/7 access through internet, kiosk services center, etc. It offers, government to citizen, it offers multiple communication mode like email, phone and face to face. The another second dimension of e-government is government to business model, is known as G2B. The government to business model supports licensing, permits, procurement and revenue collection. So, government to business model reduces delay, paperwork and operational cost. Government to business model promotes transparency in business government. The third dimension is government to government. It is a kind of latest. It includes horizontal and vertical interaction between agencies. It government to government model enhances information sharing and reduce duplication. It also improves efficiency and coordination in program. The last, the fourth, government to employee, G2E model. It focuses on human resource service and internet communication. The government to employee model enables digital document sharing and record management, promotes paperless work and employee skill development. So, what is governance for development? A student for BA, you must know governance for development. What can be the governance for development? Here we are going to discuss. You know, governance and development are interlinked. Effective governance promotes inclusive socio-economic growth. Good governance supports sustained economic development. The World Bank has created a governance index based on accountability, stability, effectiveness, rule of law and corruption. The critics argue that these indicators ignore country specific condition and interlinked variable. Governance reform have not always delivered expected development outcome. Overemphasis on reform can complicate governance and weaken development efforts. So, aid condition only force developing country to follow donor model rather than local needs. This is a challenges, this is a critical part. Reform can sometimes undermine the traditional right and community rights. We say the example, those tribal people, if any developments takes place by the government, sometimes their cultural and traditional rights are violated in Jharkhand, in Jammu and Kashmir. So, we can understand their pain. Good governance aims at equity, transparency, accountability, participation and rule of law. To two key issues, institutional efficiency and democratic principles are important. Citizen participation and empowerment are also essential. Effective policy depend on strong institution and administrative capacity. Now, friends, the term citizen centric governance means governance should be focused on center point. It means government should give priority on citizens. This is the term which is known as a citizen centered governance. Citizen centric governance focuses on aligning administration with citizens' need and satisfaction. Citizen centric governance is closely linked to good governance and emphasizes participation and transparency. The primary focus of citizen centric governance aims of the state is citizen welfare, guiding institutional functioning. Kautilya, the ancient scholar, also emphasized that rural happiness lay in citizens' welfare. This is a very important line. The king, at the time, ancient time, the king was the ruler. So, Kautilya said that the rural happiness always lay in citizens' welfare. And in modern era, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation, also proposed Suraj with key factors like accountability, transparency, responsiveness, inclusiveness, efficiency, rule of law, participation and consensus. Mahatma Gandhi always talks about a lot of things, but his argument for Swaraj is very important, because here transparency, here responsibility is important, accountability is ensured, inclusiveness. Mahatma Gandhi says that in India people live in villages, 80 to 90% people live in villages. So, development should come from local level. So, we can talk about inclusiveness. And Mahatma Gandhi also talk about rule of law, participation and consensus. For participation, Mahatma Gandhi has promoted panchayati raj systems. That's why you can say in our DPSP in article 40, the Gram Panchayat has been given mandatory provision under 40 under DPSP, just because of Mahatma Gandhi's effort and his initiative. Next, come to the topic reforms. Under citizen centric governance, what should be reform? It includes legal rights, grievances, redressal system, improved accessibility and simplified procedure. Means legal right means legal aid also should be given by the government, free of cost. Grievances redressal system means ombudsmans. In current system, ombudsmans are there in banks, in public institution. Internal grievances committee should be established. Improved accessibility means all the department and section of the government should be work, so that one can access easily. There should not be gap, there should not be more hierarchy. Then citizen centric governance encourages employee performance, means those who are working for a particular department, their quality, their performance can also be increased, disciplines could be maintained. If we follow citizen centric governance, we can reduce regulatory control, because after 1991 there are so many PSU was established, so various regulatory body was established. So, if we follow citizen centric governance, we will try to reduce regulatory control. And citizen centric governance must be effective, responsive and transparent. Key dimension, overall what can we say? It should be responsive, it should be equitable and it should be accountable governance. So, in order to conclude, dear students, citizen participation and voices are central to evaluating governance process, because who will evaluate governance process, it is a citizen participation. That is why in the current time, in the modern era, we talk about social audit. What do you mean by social audit? Social audit means every policy would be evaluated on the basis of citizens opinion, on the basis of role of civil society, on the basis of NGO involvement. So, overall it is known as a social audit. So, that is why the government success would be always evaluated by the citizen, not by the government itself. Thank you very much for listening.